All right, everybody, welcome into Around the Felt. Here with me today, I got Dave, Garrett, and AJ, and we're going to talk some MLB. Obviously, we had a couple games already over in Korea, but the regular season officially starts on Thursday. We're recording on a Tuesday night, so we wanted to kind of just give our predictions for the years, get into the MVP, the Rookie of the Years, the Cy Youngs, our World Series picks, teams we're down on and teams we're high on. Just kind of go through it all. So, how we doing tonight, fellas? How's everyone?
I'm great, boys. This is a Yankees podcast. We're only going to talk about Soto, MVP, Judge, you name it. Garrett Cole coming back in like a couple weeks. That's how we're rolling. Around the felt, more like around the Bronx, baby. Let's go, Yanks. No, I'm just playing around. That's why I kept it backwards. I wanted to shoot everyone a little surprise there. But yeah, I'm great. Drock doesn't know too much football knowledge, but I think he's got a little bit of an edge for baseball just because he played in college and everything. So I'm
No.
super
So
pumped. I'm upset that Pop Tart's not on here because he's another huge avid baseball guy, but unfortunately he's studying for the off season. So yeah.
Yeah. I don't. I'm fine missing out on Pop Tart's city rat vibes. I don't need him being like the Yankees are gonna win it all, and here's why. I don't need that New York scum in here. But AJ Garrett, first time on the pod. How you guys doing today?
Yeah, you
I'm
got it.
doing great. I mean, I'm excited for the Yankees too. Garrett Cole getting hurt earlier in the year really kind of kind of threw me off a little bit. Kind of got my hopes a little down for the start of the season, but like Dave said, he'll be back soon, better than ever.
Yeah, and that's got to really rock you. Obviously, you're both named Garrett, just spelt a little differently, so that's got to like really rock you to your
That's
core.
Big G right there, as
Yeah,
Colin would like to say.
yeah. You don't want to see that. And AJ, I see you got the Mets jersey in the back, so
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm the outlier here, but appreciate you boys having me on. But yeah, I'm not too excited about the mess this year. I'm not expecting a lot, but hey, you never know, man. You never know.
I saw a lot of talk about Lindor. Um like this is his year. I could totally see him like I know I'm a diehard Yankee guy, but like I could see Lindor breaking away and having like an MVP run for sure. I don't even know where he is in the standings, but like I think he's got the potential to do something. He
My bad. I think he's plus 4,000, I believe, on the odds for NL, which is kind of
Mhm.
crazy because I think O'Neal Cruz and Ellie De La Cruz are both ahead of him, which I don't agree with, but it happens. Nah, I actually think Pete Alonso out of everyone is gonna have the most or gonna have the best year actually. Just because look, I haven't seen Pete Alonso not smile. Like I'm not the biggest Pete Alonso fan. I kind of think he's kind of goofy. We've all seen it. Home run derby, doing the squats, had me rooting kind of against him, but it's my boy. I gotta root for him. He hasn't smiled once this spring, and I think he's gonna be locked in because I don't think the Mets are gonna extend him. So I think he's got
Yeah,
a lot to prove this year.
he's a douchebag for throwing that ball away last year. Who I forget who the rookie was, or was
Yeah.
it a that was such a douchebag
yeah, it
move, but
was.
Oh my
Just
yeah. He's just yeah.
he's a douchebag because he takes the home run derby so serious. He acts like it's the World Series. It's so funny. I like actively root against him just because he takes it so damn serious. It's so funny.
Yeah, like people will be asking me like how being a Jets fan is. Like being a Mets fan, I think is equally just as hard. Over being like the last 2 years, like I had to start off with the what was it, the fake World Series celebration, spring break or spring training, and led me to this point where we're tanking and have to sell away
yeah.
all of our assets. Yeah, we're all right mentally.
Yeah, I would definitely say I'm a Jet fan and a Yankee fan, but I would say being a Mets fan is harder just because look, Jets Giants, the Super Bowl different like the Super Bowls aren't that far apart, but like then you look at the Yankees and you're like, we'll never catch him. I'll be long in the grave. The world will probably be over. I don't know if there's a chance they ever catch him in rings. So it's definitely to plus the Yankees beating them in a World Series. Like I'm just happy that that's never happened to the Jets because if the Jets lost to the Giants in the World Series, I'd cry.
That'd
Yo,
be
I
tough to
say
Yeah.
recover from.
I mean Super Bowl, not World Series.
yeah, I say we kick things off with the talk of the town right now in the baseball world. Shohei Ohtani. I mean,
Oh,
I don't know if you guys listened to obviously the interview that he had with the poor new interview guy. Like, what a debut for him. He's got to come out and like the biggest highlight of the season, like, and just interpret what Shohei's saying. I mean, personally, I think Shohei's just like one of us. He's a degenerate gambler. I mean, I don't see how your interpreter, your best friend, is going into your bank account and sending $4.5 million to a bookkeeper. Something's a little fishy about that. I mean, like, dude, are you a human? You check your bank account? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Something's a little fishy with that. And I heard Michael K talk about it today too, and it just made me realize even more. Like, if this wasn't Shohei Ohtani, I don't know, freaking Aaron Hicks, like this guy would be kicked. This guy would be kicked out of MLB already. So I don't know.
Yeah, but the whole thing with that is, first off, I can't stand Michael K. He's such a nasally baby. They're such old heads, and they were like such babies during COVID and stuff with all those stuff. But I won't get into all that. But yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, maybe if it was a lower tier guy, he'd be kicked out. But guess what? He's not. He's the face of baseball. Like, are you kidding me? You're not going to do that. Baseball's dying right now, so it's not like the NFL where it's like, yeah, like we could kick one of the star guys out or suspend him for a year. Like Calvin Ridley, like obviously he's not Shohei Ohtani level, but they suspended him. Like I think if Patrick Mahomes did it, they'd suspend him and the sport would still be okay. But baseball, they need all the stars they can get. So they can't afford to kick him out or suspend him because he's huge for ratings for a sport that used to be number two. And now I'd say they're around, like they might be lower than the MLB, and other sports might start to catch it. The only thing saving baseball right now is the fact that they've lowered the pitch clock. So it's less time, which I think was so smart.
Yeah, that was so smart. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, like as a baseball player, like I thought that was stupid initially because, like, you know, obviously baseball is slow and everything, and it's a huge part of the game. But like, if anything, it made it a lot more interesting and it sped it up a lot more. And I don't know, it actually changed the game for the better. But I don't know. I know the Dodgers and MLB are running their own separate investigations on Shohei. So I mean, I'll be definitely, well, obviously everybody's going to be looking out for it, what's going to happen. But like, if he is gambling on baseball, he's done. He's done. I can't see, like, especially after Pete Rose and a couple of other like players bet on themselves and the game, like he could be just done. I don't
Yeah, you see what Pete Rose said? He was like, if I had a translator.
know.
No, I didn't
No,
see
but
that.
no, but this is modern day Babe Ruth, right? We all talk about the MLB is going to sweep this under the rug, 100%. They're not going to let their quote unquote face of baseball. They're not going to let him do it. And if they do get caught, or if he does get caught, I think it's just going to be some sort of like game suspension. I'm telling you right now, I can see it. And I was calling this way before when the reports first came out. When Ebby said the first report, I was like, this was 100% Shohei.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. And I think 100%, like you're saying, they're going to sweep it under the rug. Worst
He
case,
also changed his story halfway through. So when the
Yeah.
reports were first coming out, he was trying to say that he paid for his translator's debt and that he was the good guy, like he was covering for his best friend. And then when it became like a bigger story after like he talked to the ESPN reporter, they're like, oh, actually he stole the money from me and like completely changed the story. So it's definitely something fishy going on. But like you said, he's their global superstar. Like one game suspension, pat on the wrist, keep going.
yeah, we need an around the felt investigation right away. We got to get someone on it. So, um,
Well,
and with that being said, like I don't know. I also feel like it's possible that he was trying to protect his boy. Like that's his translator for the longest time. So maybe he's like, yeah, we could keep this in house, and like I don't want to air our dirty laundry. I'll just say I gave it to you and stuff. But I don't know.
My
Honestly, I
con-
think it's
yeah,
hilarious, and I think it's honestly good for the sport, as crazy as that is, because anytime MLB can get a big story like this, I think it's good for the sport. As crazy
so
because they
true.
need the ratings. They need it. They need it.
the publicity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you watch like freaking the clowns on ESPN, they don't talk about baseball much, but they're talking about it now. They're talking about it a bunch.
Yeah.
So did you see speaking about Shohei, did you see the entire thing about like the bets placed in his hometown? Like the
No.
high stakes? This is crazy. So this is like more proof into it. So there was a $10 million bet placed in his hometown, which the same day he was pitching, it was Astros -1.5, Astros over 6.5, Shohei to allow over 4.5 runs allowed, Shohei under 6.5 Ks, game total 11.5. The Shohei's line for the day was 6 innings pitched, 9 hits, 5 earned runs.
Oh no.
Oh
And
no,
the bet cashed.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
he's just
didn't.
got some haters out there.
Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah,
that. Wow.
maybe. I thought I saw another example. Well, I'm not seeing it here. Like $1 million bet, but yeah, just to add more proof to that.
Like, think about it. If we knew someone that was
He
going
did it.
pro, like if we hated Charlie and George Eberle, I'd be like, yo, fuck New Mexico State. I'm fading those motherfuckers every single game.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's ridiculous. I did not know that. That's insane.
The dude in the NBA just got caught too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I saw that.
Michael Porter Jr.'s brother.
Yeah, I mean,
the Toronto Center.
I mean, my boys and I were talking about this. Like, I think he's only making like $400K a year, and just to make a little quick bag on yourself, like, come on, dude. Like, you should know better than that as a professional athlete. Like,
Bend the under on everything.
yeah, and just like he played 4 minutes or whatever. Like,
Not buying into himself. He's like, yeah, I don't believe that I could get the points. I'm just gonna take the. There's a better chance I don't do it.
Yeah.
too funny, man. I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens. Again, my conspiracy is that like the interpreter, I can't even pronounce his name, but I'm just gonna call him
No,
interpreter.
try.
I don't even, it starts with an I. Doesn't it start with an I or something? I don't even know.
Ippy.
Yeah, Ippy. Yeah, I think that Shohei was placing it under him, right? But he was placing the bets for him, and then obviously they got caught. So Ippy's taking the blame for it. Now I think Shohei was like, "Hey man, like, take the blame for it. Like, I'll pay you out, like whatever you want.
I'd
Fly
take
to
the
another.
blame for it. Who fucking cares? It gives you a couple million. Okay, I'll sit on
Yeah,
my ass for the
You
rest
want
of the
50
life.
million of my 700? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, fuck
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Like he's definitely offering him a bag just to like go to another country, like not even hometown. Like I don't even know where he's probably fled across the country somewhere that we don't even know where he's at right now. He's just gonna go isolate himself for the rest of his life, but be a millionaire. I don't know. Fishy stuff, man.
Go back to
Oh,
his
God.
hometown, place more bets.
Yeah. And like them like laughing an hour before, like together, it being Shohei laughing, and then an hour later coming out that the Dodgers fired him. He knew what was going. Shohei knew what was going on. He knew what was going on.
There was also reports about him, like Ippy, like not like lying about where he went to college, lying about his interpreter experience. Like, yeah, something fishy
Crazy.
going on, and MLB's gonna cover it up.
Yeah. I mean, if the Dodgers do go ahead and win it too, like, is this Shohei news like washed because they won the World Series? Like, I don't know. Maybe the MLB's planning them to win it all. I mean, they got the potential, obviously, just not just with Shohei, but with everyone else in that team. So it's definitely possible that could happen too.
Yeah. But let's take a dive into the season. Obviously, they've had 2 games in Korea. Dodgers Padres split that. So, but the official start to the season is Thursday. I'm pumped. So why don't we get into it right away? Who do you guys got winning the World Series? I
Wait,
will
real
say,
quick.
yeah.
Can we talk about Yamamoto's debut
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, we can talk about that quick.
before we brush over that game?
Yamamoto's.
Shawnee Mo's boy.
Yeah. Oh,
Like, what happened there? Did he even make it through the inning?
what was it?
No,
five earned runs first inning.
I think he got through the inning. I can pull it up real quick. I believe he got through the inning, but he got rocked. That was the Thursday game because they didn't like that Thursday before March Madness. Yeah,
And he wasn't
he
having
went.
spring training either, right?
No, yeah, he had a terrible spring training. Yeah, he went 1 inning, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, a walk, 2 strikeouts, 43 pitches. His ERA is a 45.
Oof.
So hot start. And obviously he was not their biggest signing because I was Shohei, but he was their second biggest signing. So it'll be interesting because he's only 25. Also, he's young as shit.
He's 25.
Yeah, no, he's still very young.
Yeah, that was the reason why the Mets wanted to sign him, just because how young he was, because they knew they weren't going to be competing this year.
Yeah, I think he'll
Yeah, he had a big
figure it
market.
out. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's not like Shohei wasn't a good pitcher when he first came in. He got rocked his first year, and then he started to figure it out. So I think it's a big gap coming from the Korean leagues and the Japanese leagues. It's totally different.
Senga was good when he first started.
That is true. Yeah, he was close up there and top in the NL wins, right?
Yeah, like when he first started, he started off hot.
And
And what's
his
the guy?
ERA
The
was
guy
pretty good.
Tanaka, the guy you guys used to have before he got injured, started off real good. Same league though.
Yeah. Tanaka. I forgot
That's
about
an old.
him.
That's an old. That's a
I
throwback.
forgot about
It's
Tanaka.
a throwback.
Yeah. Fuck Tanaka. All my boys hate Tanaka.
All the boys hate Tanaka.
Yeah,
Good for him.
he
Good
was
for
all
him.
right. He was good to start, and then he just fell apart. I don't even know. He must be done now. Same with the Dodgers' old pitcher and on the not the Padres, the Blue Jays, Ryu, Ryu. I think that's how you pronounce it. He was one of the better
Yeah, lefty.
pitchers to come over. But he's another one that's gone now too. So we'll see. I mean, obviously Yamamoto's probably one of the youngest ones to come over from the Japanese league.
Mm.
Yeah. Yo,
And
you want to hop?
Oh my bad.
No, you straight. I'm gonna pull up these World Series odds right now. This is actually my first time looking at this. This is crazy. This is not
Oh, it's
sponsored
cool
by.
that you can.
This is not sponsored by DraftKings whatsoever. They've taken way too much of my money. Um, I as a non-biased Yankee fan, I do like the plus 1100. I really do. I'm gonna obviously be putting money on it. But what's I see surprisingly is these Dodgers right here, plus four. I mean Dodgers, Diamondbacks, plus 4,000. I mean, solid lineup, young. I don't even think they're. I don't even know how much deep their bullpen goes, but I
They're
just think that
starting. The
like
rotation's crazy.
yeah, the rotation's good, and I see a lot of value in the D-backs, just obviously because they went to the World Series. I mean,
Yeah,
still.
and they got Eduardo Rodriguez in the offseason, who had a
Mhm.
great year with the Tigers, plus Merrill Kelly and obviously Zach Gallen. So those are three studs right there.
Yeah. So if I wasn't looking at a team in the AL East, because I think the AL East is stacked, I'd probably go D-backs. But I think another good one too is the Orioles, just because they're young, healthy. They got what is it? Their rookie. I think he's what is it?
Oh,
It's not.
Holiday?
Yeah,
Mm.
Matt Holiday. Is it Matt
Jackson,
Yeah.
I think.
Or
Jackson
yeah,
Holiday?
Jackson. It's Matt
Jackson
Holliday's
Holiday.
son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they have Rutschman, obviously, who's the
Yeah.
best catcher in the MLB right now.
Yeah, I mean, like again, like their whole lineup is like stacked. So I mean, I see a lot, and their bullpen is also filthy. Like I know when the Yanks played Baltimore, we barely put it by them last year. So I would take those two teams. So we'll see. Not the Giants to win the Super Bowl. I'm not taking that.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing for the Orioles for me is that their pitching rotation isn't great. I mean, obviously they got Corbin Burns, so that'll help. Especially if he can get back to anything like his Cy Young level. Obviously, he struggled since winning. Actually, did he win the Cy Young? I'm pretty sure he won the one year.
Yeah,
Who?
But
2021 or two. He did.
Corbin Burns, yeah. So last year he had a 3.39, which is still great. So if he goes back, if he continues that success, that'll be huge. But I wish they had a better rotation there. But still, their bullpen and batting is just ridiculous. So if their pitching staff can figure it out, they are going to be dangerous.
Reagan, who you got? Who, as a
So
non-biased Yankee fan?
yeah, as a non-biased fan, I kind of like the value in the Cubs.
Okay.
Obviously, they were able to re-sign Cody Bellinger, which was huge. They're in a week, in my opinion, the NL West is, or no, I'm sorry, not the NL West. The NL Central is not nearly what it used to be. Because clearly, at this point, look, the Cardinals are not what they used to be. The Pirates, they're up and coming, and the Reds are up and coming, but in my opinion, they're not there yet. And the Brewers, they're going downhill. So I think they're the best team in the Central, so they should have an easy path to get to the playoffs. And then when they get there, it comes down to their pitching staff, who obviously Justin Steele, their ace, stud, was one of the, I believe he was one of the finalists last year. They have Kyle Hendricks, he's an interesting pitcher. Obviously, he's a big knuckleball guy that throws a lot of off speed. And I believe they signed a guy too in the offseason, from one of the Japanese guys as well. So, and then in the batting side, like I said, I'm a big Cody Bellinger guy. Nico Horner had a big year last year. I believe he batted 283 last year. They have Suzuki still, who's nice, Yan Gomes. So morale's not bad. So they got some guys over there.
You see Bellinger's contract. They got a good deal on him.
Yeah. I mean, he went back to like early Dodger form. I mean, he batted 307 last year with 26 home runs and 97 RBIs. So he's going to obviously be a big guy. I'll get into it a little bit later on, more on Cody Bellinger and what I really think he can do. But yeah, Cubs are my World Series pick.
I'm loving the downfall of Scott Boras. Loving it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fuck
yeah.
Scott Boras, actually, if you want me to say that.
No, go right ahead.
Oh my god,
He was sweating this offseason.
yeah, and he lost. Stupid.
Yeah.
So AJ, we'll let you go. Who's your team? Who you got winning the World Series?
I mean, it's gonna be like a little basic pick, but like I'm gonna hate to say this, but I got the Braves winning all of it. I just think they got the most complete team by rotation wise, starting lineup wise. I think their bullpen's good, and I think this is gonna be the year, and especially with adding Chris Sale to the lineup. I think if he has some form of if he's healthy, I think he's gonna be a threat for them no matter what. And low key, I know he's not having the best spring training, but Kalinick, if he can somehow figure it out, that lineup is dangerous. And I got them going against the Astros because I don't really see the AL. I'm not gonna lie, as big of a threat. Like I think the Yankees are a threat, but I think they're depends how injuries go. I don't think they're as deep as the Astros right now. I think the Blue Jays. I think the Yankees are better than the Blue Jays, but I think the Blue Jays could be like a low key pick here if it comes down to it. I think they have a lot to prove, and they've been trying to prove it for the last 2 or 3 years now. And I think this is finally the time they're going to put it all together. That could be like a low key pick, though.
Yeah, and dude, the Braves rotation, it's sick. I think Spencer Strider, like he honestly seems like a lock if he stays healthy for the Cy Young. He's so freaking good. He gets so many strikeouts. Obviously, getting Chris Sale's huge.
They
Max
got
Fried will be
Max
healthy
Fried,
this
right?
year.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's gonna
They
be
Oh,
still
like,
have
yeah.
gotta
Charlie
stay healthy.
Morton too, who's a guy who's had a lot of success in the league. So
They got 4
they're
dudes on there. Oh, my bad. Sorry.
no, you're good. I'm just saying there's a lot of studs there, but
No, they got 4 guys on their starting rotation that could be ones on any other team. They got a deep
mhm.
rotation now. So they stay healthy. They're going to be the threat and going to be the team to beat.
Yeah, and obviously on the offensive side, they have like 4 guys that could win the MVP. I mean, Michael Harris could go and win it. Albies could win it. Freaking Austin Riley could win it. Matt Olson, and obviously Acuna. So 5 guys that they have 5 guys right there that could win the MVP. That's how stacked this team is.
So can the Yankees, but I digress.
They got to
Yeah.
stay healthy.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing
It's
for
the
every
Yankees'
team.
biggest Achilles heel always injuries.
Why the fuck are the Twins plus 1900?
Because they're like a shoe-in for the playoffs.
Because Carlos Carrera. I mean, who
No,
else?
like they're literally a shoe-in for that's how bad it's like that.
Yeah, their
The
division's
Central's
I was
so
gonna say
bad
the
because the
division
White
probably is
Sox
ass.
are just
Yeah.
the White Sox are rebuild mode. Tigers, I'm gonna get into it later, but they're upcoming. Royals are upcoming also, but like they're just so much more talented than the other teams. And obviously, like Sonny Gray had a good year last year too. They have their pitching's not bad. Pablo Lopez, Joe Ryan, so they got some guys.
Yeah.
But Garrett, who do you got?
Yeah, Garrett, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Dave. I do like the value on the Orioles a lot. I mean, the Braves would scare me the most. I like AJ was saying, like they're going 4 deep this year with all the batters they have, with Acuna being debatably top player in baseball as well. I do love the fact that they brought in Corbin Burns. He's also has, I believe this is last year on his deal, so he's going to be playing for another contract. So you usually like to see that from players because they're hungry. They're trying to prove that they're going to make more money. You got him coming in as your ace. You got these, like we touched on, some of their rookie class that they got coming in, former #1 overall pick. We'll see if he has an impact at all. I mean, you got the veterans still there, like Cedric Mullins, who could maybe still put together a good season, but Rutschman's a beast, obviously. I
Gunnar
guess another
Henderson.
team you can't really count out. I know it's pretty popular out here where me and AJ are. When the Phillies get to October, man, they just seem to click. Like Red October is a thing. That team's got there's something about like that chemistry on that team is crazy, and like they're a fun ass team to watch when it comes to the playoffs. So I guess you can't really count them out either. Wouldn't be
Schwarbomb.
shocked to see them pulling an upset this year.
As much as I hate to say this about the Phillies, they are the best playoff team when it comes off of feeding off the crowd, and that's how they get rolling. And then they get hot off of it, and it's crazy. And I've seen it for the last 2 years.
It is. They really like their team chemistry is awesome. And like the Philly fans, you know how they are. They're crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2 years ago, my girlfriend lives in Center City, Philly. So 2 years ago when they were World Series, I was like there when they were in the World Series, and I mean, my God, it was electric. I hate Philly, and I hate everyone who lives there besides that one girl. But like, my God, I cannot fucking stand Philly. I cannot
I was
fucking
gonna say
stand.
that dog was almost in the doghouse if he stopped that statement.
I was ripping Philly's money line. No, I was not wearing a fucking single thing of red, but my God, they were good, and their atmosphere is insane. Xfinity Live goes crazy. Shout out to Philly boys. But yeah, the Phillies is a good value here too as well. I mean, looking at this list, like what you were saying, AJ, I mean, like the NL scares me a lot more than the AL this year for sure. I mean,
Hmm.
Yeah,
they
the AL's
definitely,
definitely
I would say so. I mean, it's really just the Astros and the Yanks, and like, I mean, the Orioles, yeah, but like, what last year didn't they lose four straight in the playoffs, or was it they went, they won 1-4 or something like that in the playoffs? I forget what it was, but I know they
The
choked.
Phillies.
No, the Orioles didn't they choke
Oh, the
last year?
Orioles. I think they lost in the first round to
the first
the
round.
Astros in the
Yeah,
5-game series. We got to talk. Like obviously, we just gave our picks, but we got to talk about the Rangers. I mean, they won the World Series last year.
The
Do we
most
not think they can
underwhelming World
repeat?
Series.
Because they got some studs. They got some studs. I know they're called up Wyatt Langford. That kid's apparently going to be a stud this year. He went through all four of the like last year. It was his first year after getting drafted. He went through all the levels. He's on the opening day roster in year two, which is impressive in its own. Which is super impressive because you don't really see guys getting called up that quickly. Obviously, they got the big two who they paid in Simeon and Seager. I was going to say, I'm like, why am I blanking on his name? Simeon and Seager, and they also got some other guys like Evan Carter was a huge impact guy for them, and then the pitching staff. DeGrom and Scherzer obviously hurt, but they'll be getting them back later in the year. And it's still Heaney's a big strikeout guy. Like Josiah Gray's not Josiah Gray. That's the Washington pitcher. John Gray wasn't bad. And then Dane Dunning. So they still got some guys that can hold them afloat, but they're going to need those big dogs to come back later in the year and really prevail them. But I think the Rangers are a team where if you really think they're going to win the World Series, wait and bet them in like July or August when it's like, oh boy, it doesn't look so good for the Rangers because they're going to get those guys back and you might get like double the odds. You might get them at plus 3,000 because I think they're going to start out really slow and then heat up towards the end of the year like they did last year.
Yeah, that was my second pick for AL. But the thing is with the Rangers is like they're not gonna get DeGrom back. Like we've seen the cycle. I hate to say it. I love DeGrom, but they're not gonna get DeGrom back. And if they
Yeah,
do, it's gonna be at 70% of what he is.
yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Like the fact that they paid him and he like that massive contract and he did absolutely nothing for them to get that World Series. Like I feel bad for the guy, but it's funny to be like, yeah, DeGrom got a ring first year leaving the Mets. Didn't contribute at all to it, but
Yeah.
yeah, the Rangers are
It,
deep. Not just Seager. I mean, what is it? Garcia and
oh,
Simeon
I
were.
didn't even talk about Garcia. Yeah, he's another. He was clutch in the playoffs, hitting
He was
nuke
so
after nuke.
clutch. Yeah, and Simeon too. Simeon would just slap singles. I mean,
Yeah, he was good on the A's and Blue Jays back in the day, and he obviously
yeah,
got the bag. And Seager, of course. But yeah, they got a lot of guys there. They're
and
pretty
Evaldi
well
too. I
rounded.
forgot about him. But
Yep, Evaldi's one of those guys that like playoff
mm,
time. He's a whole nother level. He is good in the playoffs. He's a Yankee killer. Sucked on the Yankees, but he's a guy who fucking the Yankees can't seem to get past it. He killed us
yeah,
when he was on the Red Sox in the playoffs.
two surgeries, and he's just still throwing like 97, 98. I mean, the dude pumps. I will say that for sure. He's a Yankees killer.
All right, you guys want to get into the MVPs now?
well, real quick, I know you guys want to talk about the Orioles. I don't think the Orioles. I think they like third in the division. That's my pick for them. At least I
I
think
think
they're a young team. I think they're gonna be winning in 1 to 2 years. But I don't think this year is their year to be like
I think they
dominant.
could gear up for a trade at the deadline. They have an awesome farm system. If they want to bring in another pitcher like by the deadline, I could definitely see them doing that.
I think they
But
have to. Their pitching
last year
staff's
did
too
leave a
weak.
bad taste in my mouth when you come in as like the hottest team in baseball and lose first round. They
I
lost
mean,
to the
like
team that won it all, but it's still not a good sign.
they got a lot of young studs, but that also like with being young, like you're unproven. and it comes with like especially like playoff stuff. Like it's more experience than anything.
It's so true. Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. I don't know where Soto is on this list, but I will be
Not there
sprinkling.
because he's not in the NL.
Oh,
You can
that make,
we can go to the NL first though. No, you just got
I
to
was
scroll down more.
I was just about to say like, where's Judge?
Yeah, so for the NL, I'll do my guy Cody Bellinger. I love the value there. He had his best season last year. He just got paid.
Mm.
I think if the Cubs are to go on the World Series run that I think they could, I think he's going to be the driving force behind it. I like the value. This is more a lot of it has to deal with the value, but think about it. A lot of these guys are going to eat each other's stats up. Like we saw Acuna win it last year because he had a ridiculous year, but like this year, I don't think he's going to get it back to back. And I think with guys like Matt Olson there and Austin Riley, who you see up there with him, there's no way they all don't have good years. And the same with the Dodgers, Freeman, Betts, Otani. Like I just think when you have that many good guys on a team, they're going to kill each other's value. So I kind of like it that he's the guy, and like there's no doubt about it. It's crazy to me that Suzuki has the same odds. I think that's wild to me. Like I wouldn't touch that, but yeah, I just love the value, and I love the fact that he was batting over 300 last year, just shy of 100 RBIs and 30 home runs. So big things to come for him.
Yeah, that is so true. Having three superstars on your team, like Freeman, Otani, and Betts, like, I feel like, that never really works. Like that's in comparison to like any league, like in the
Mhm.
NBA too, especially like you can't have three superstars like working all together. It just doesn't clash. You kind of have to have like one superstar and like the rest kind of like build upon like how he's performing. It's kind of like Judge in comparison. I keep going back to the Yanks, but like, Judge was obviously the MVP, and then you had like other guys who were like just staggering upon him, and then they didn't go far in the playoffs. But I don't know, man. What I was saying before, I love this guy. Plays with a lot of swagger. I'm gonna go Lindor, man. Plus 4,000 is a lot, like for this guy. Switch. I mean, he does it all. Like I keep saying the swagger, like out of Lindor, and I just can see him having the caliber of a season. Like he did pretty well last year, right? I mean, he wasn't terrible,
He
right?
was he was really actually for how terrible last year could have went. He was the one bright spot we could have had. He
Yeah.
was. I'm not like batting average wise. I think he was second in WAR for shortstops. Like he was up there.
I think the only reason why he's plus 4,000 is because I think that I know it doesn't play into effect as much, but I do think the team like I'm not saying the Mets could fucking win it all. They could. I mean, anything's possible, but I'm saying like since like the Dodgers and the Braves have the potential to win it all and to go further, like that's why Lindor is plus 4,000 because they're not like a playoff team right now in this decade. So I mean,
Yeah, this is
I
like
would sprinkle Lindor.
yeah, this is like the 1 year with the Mets where it's like you still have the roster when you won like a majority of the roster when you won 90 something games, but also at the same time, you still have the majority of the roster that won that much games. So this is the first time in how many years where they've had a gap where the projection is what 75 to 90. It's, like we don't know how the Mets are going to perform. It's how Lindor, Alonso, all the star guys are going to perform. So I like the pick.
Yeah, I like Lindor. That's my unbiased. I mean, that's my NL pick. Garrett, what do you got?
Yeah. I'm gonna shout out one of my guys from last year, Rookie of the Year, Corbin Carroll. I see him he's pretty high up there, but man, he was awesome last year. Like I loved what I saw from him. I had him in fantasy all year, so I was keeping up with him a lot. Like early on, I knew like he was gonna win Rookie of the Year. Like he was special. I think he was like the first rookie to have 25 home runs and like at least 50 stolen bases. Like I think he had like 55 stolen base. The kid's like a speed demon. He also hit in like 116 runs. Um, Obviously he's still young, and I don't see him like maybe winning it this year, but like this kid's got a really good future ahead of him. Like he's an awesome player, and I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna keep an eye on him. Also, just playing the World Series, so that was really cool.
yeah,
Um,
he was always on base. I mean,
Always.
If Tonga was on here, he would shout him out because I think he had Carroll as one of the picks, and he also took him first round in our baseball fantasy league as well. So like he's all
Yeah.
about Carroll. But plus 1,800's pretty freaking good. I don't know when the last time rookie MVP went back to just regular season MVP.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I should have checked that out before, but yeah, no, I like 1,800 for Carroll.
Yeah, plus I mean he gets a ton of stolen bases. He's a big triple guy, home run guy. He's well rounded. So
Yeah.
he's got like the Acuna aspect where he can steal a ton of bases and he can also hit a ton of home runs. So that rare blend definitely puts you in a good spot, and that's kind of why Mookie Betts, same thing. That rare blend of speed and power, because he had 25 home runs last year and 76 RBIs,
Yeah.
but he also stole how many? He stole 54 bases. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
he
So
adds a
it's hitting
few
on
more
it.
home runs. He had 10 triples too. He gets his average over 300, which he was at 285, like, which I think we fully expect him to be over 300. Like, you would expect him to take an even bigger step. So if he gets like 30 home runs, 100 RBIs, 50 stolen bases, and bats over 300, and the Diamondbacks win the division or they're in the playoffs, I mean, that's good odds. I would take him. Honestly, I would take him over any guy in front of him. I think he has a better chance than any guy in front of him a lot
A name in
because
front of him I'd keep an eye on is possibly Bryce Harper because he's finally going to be healthy for the full year, at least for now, coming in. He's switched into first base, which is going to take some pressure off of him in the outfield. Um,
I didn't know he was
yeah,
doing that. That's interesting. I
Yeah,
mean, it
so
makes sense because Hoskins went to the Brewers, but
yeah, so true. That relieves so much off of a player, especially when they're just like catching balls at first, as opposed to like actually having to focus in the outfield. And like
yeah.
that takes a lot off of his arm too, especially just because of
And
the injury.
when he
he
got
might
healthy
DH a
last year,
lot
he was
too,
hot.
honestly.
Yeah, I like Harper.
Yeah, I think Harper's a decent pick. Gary, you're becoming a little Phillies fan now because sounds affecting you.
It's definitely wearing off on me. I ended up watching more of their games than Yankees games last year by the end of it, but we fell
It's,
off a mountain and they had a great year, so it happens.
I was forced to watch the Phillies.
You poor guys.
Yeah. Should we hop to the AL? Is it scrolled down?
But it was awesome to see them lose. So
It should be. Yeah, there you go.
Juan
wait,
Soto putting the bag on it. 1,000 live on the pod. No, I'm kidding. I don't have that kind of bread right now.
Yeah, I also would. I don't like it. Like, I'm a Yankee fan, but I don't like it for the same reason I said before. Like, Soto and Judge are just going to eat away at each other. And if the
And
Yankees are
Gleyber
just
Torres.
yeah, and Glaber too. Like, there's just, I mean, Glaber isn't obviously like the Dodgers and Braves tier where they have like three studs. Like, Glaber's good, don't get me wrong, but he's not like the same level as these guys. But yeah, I mean, I can't see it. I'm sorry. I feel like they're just like jacking them up because the Yankees are the biggest market and the new guy in town and stuff. And they are going to hit a lot of home runs with the short porch, but miss me with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I like
yeah.
Juan Soto as the AL pick. I really do think he's going to win the MVP for the AL, especially since it's a contract year.
You do?
Yeah, like a big market contract year. I mean, I don't think you guys will resign him, but I think it's
Yeah.
going to be an MVP type year.
Yeah, I think he's a rental.
I love that if he's going to be batting right before Judge, you got to keep in mind like they can't walk this guy because then you're leaving another guy on base for Judge to just hit one out of the park. Soto's coming to a stadium like you said that's geared towards a big hitter like him. Like he's gonna put up some crazy numbers. And I do love the fact that if they do keep him at like the number 3 spot or like right before Judge, I think it's just gonna benefit him like so much more.
If he's
Adley
healthy,
Rutschman plus 1,500. My gosh.
if he's
Did he-
healthy, Juan Soto, he's batting over 300 with over 30 something home runs. That's a guarantee. Especially
Yeah.
this thing he reaches potential.
Yeah,
I
ideally
want to
that's
ask.
what he should get.
I see a lot of people talking about like Bobby Witt Jr. this year. Like,
Yeah, I
what are
was
your
going to
guys'
talk about
thoughts
him
on
too.
him?
Dude, he is his talent is like Corbin Carroll, guy we just talked about. Obviously, he's got that rare blend. He hit 30 home runs last year, 96 RBIs. He stole 49 bases. So, same way we're talking about Corbin Carroll. Difference is the team sucks. But the good thing is, Mike Trout won plenty of MVPs in seasons where they didn't even come close to the playoffs. So, in that aspect, I think this guy might be the future Mike Trout in the sense where he's going to be putting up ridiculous numbers, but the Royals are just never going to figure it out and never get him the talent that they need. So I like Bobby Witt Jr. And if I'm giving a long shot, I'm going Riley Green at plus 8,000. He had a great year last year with the Tigers. I think the Tigers are actually going to win that division. I think they're very sneaky. Um, I don't know, man. And he had a good year last year. I think he's going to be their biggest piece on this team. He batted 288 last year in 100 games, so he didn't get the job till later in the year. But I don't know. I'm expecting a big jump from him. So that's strictly odds
Okay.
based if you want a long shot. But yeah, if we're going like no long shot, just like who I think will win, I'm going Bobby Witt. Is that who you were going to, Garrett, Bobby Witt, or you were just curious of thoughts?
No, I was definitely like gonna keep an eye on him this year because like all the reasons you just said, like he's up and coming. He's shown that he can be a star player. And their team did get a little better. They're not gonna have like nearly the amount of wins to like push him into the favorite, but like you said, if he's like Mike Trout, it won't matter.
Yeah, and I don't even mean play style. I mean situation.
How
Oh
I would
yeah.
compare Trey Turner, or not Trey, wow. How I compare Bobby Wood Jr. to is how Trey Turner was right before he got traded, where he was on a shitty team, but he was putting up MVP numbers.
Hmm.
I think voters do care about the team you're on, but I think in Mike Trout's instance, it was like, oh, we know Mike Trout's the best player in the league, and he was when he was healthy.
100%. So who's your guy, AJ? Who do you think's gonna win? Are you gonna go with Soto, like you were saying?
I'm gonna do two, and then I'm gonna do two dark horses for each one.
All right, let's go.
So I got Soto for AL, like I said, and then for NL, I have Freeman. I think he's getting kind of not written off, but like he's kind of gotten unforgotten. He's like the third option. He's the Chris Bosh of the big three right now, and he shouldn't be. He's Freddie Freeman, and I think
Yeah.
Ohtani's gonna get suspended. I don't think this is gonna end up well for him, and I think he's gonna have to put the team on his back a little bit. And I expect, and especially Freddie Freeman, he put up crazy numbers last year.
Yeah.
So and he probably would have won it if Ronald Acuna didn't do what he did last year, but.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he was second in the voting. And honestly, if you truly do think Otani's going to get suspended, you should take it now because if Otani gets suspended
God.
for any amount of time, he's not only going to not win the award because if he misses 50 games, 80 games, he's not going to win, obviously. So I think the odds will go up to like plus 800. I think he'll go up. It'll get close to the Acuna range. So definitely
Yeah.
would be smart to invest in it now if you truly do think Otani's going to get suspended.
I think he's plus what, 950 right now, Freeman? 900.
1,200 on
Oh, he's
DraftKings.
1200?
He's plus 1,200.
Oh,
Yeah, the
really?
DraftKings odds are so much different than FanDuel right now.
Yeah, they got him on 900 on FanDuel.
Yeah, so I would take him on DK. That's an
DraftKings the
extra.
spot to be right now. No shout out.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna do my dark horse. So I think AL, this is gonna kind of be crazy. You guys are not gonna like this. I think Rafael Devers.
Ooh,
Oh, I don't hate that. He's a good player, man. And the Red
I like
Sox
Devers.
lack in talent.
So if the Red Sox somehow catch fire and he's the reason, the media will portray it as something crazy because of how bad their roster is right now, and how good the AL East is right now because they're projected fifth.
Hmm.
So I think Rafael is gonna have. I think he's gonna have a good year no matter what. But I think if he somehow leads them to like a wild card or even somewhat decent to the playoffs, and he still does Rafael numbers, I think he could be in the conversation. And then like I was saying for NL, I don't want to be biased. Don't think I'm biased, but I really do think Pete Alonso might have a chance here. Just you gotta hear me out here. If the Mets somehow make the playoffs and Pete Alonso doesn't overswing at everything since he's done from the first half on of his rookie year, because people don't remember Pete Alonso hitting for like decent average. He hit it for like 290, I believe, at some point right before the All-Star break, and then he just started hitting for home runs. He's been home run crazy ever since he touched the home run derby. This is the year he's finally hitting for contact. I've seen it in spring training. I can see it now. I think he could. This could be the year he can reach like 285, 290, and if he still puts up Pete Alonso RBI and home run numbers, and the Mets make the playoffs, expect him to be in the conversation.
Yeah, I like that. I might have to that was pretty convincing. I might have to sprinkle a little bit on
I
it.
like that. What do they got him at on odds right now?
Plus
20.
plus 25.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So,
Nice.
especially like a big market, like I'm gonna not this is like a crazy comparison. I'm gonna bring the Jeter comparison. If you win in a big market like New York, it matters. It does. And
Fully.
when you have like I remember when Cespedes got traded in the 2015 season. When he got traded over to the Mets, he was second in NL MVP, and he only played half a season in the NL. So,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Was like a historic tear he was on
yeah,
too.
it was a crazy run, but
He was on another level.
the New York media will push you to greatness if you decide you want to play good.
Well said. All right, well, let's get into the Cy Youngs, guys. NL. So obviously, in my opinion, Strider is a lock to win it. Like if he stays healthy, I don't see how this guy doesn't win it. I think he's going to get his ERA down. Obviously, he's going to lead the league in strikeouts. He's going to go off. But I don't like from a betting perspective. I would never take a guy that's plus 450. Like that's just too. Those odds are too low for me. So I went Hunter Green, on the Reds. He's gotten better every year since coming into the league. He was a highly touted prospect. I think the Reds are going to be a lot better this year because obviously they were fringe playoffs last year. But yeah, I mean, if he can take that next step, which I'm really hoping, and obviously they're giving him a lot of respect because last year's ERA was a 4.82, but he's a high strikeout guy. He pitches a lot of innings, so he's gonna need to take that next step. But I think Vegas is expecting that, and so am I. I'm really hoping he can take it.
Not Blake Snell.
No, I couldn't go back with it. I find it tough to. I think voter fatigue is a real thing, so I think it's really tough to bank on a guy going back to back.
Yeah, I mean it's a soft topic for you as well, just because of everything that happened. But
Yeah, I didn't get it. Fuck DraftKings. We're still
So
supporting
close.
them. Yeah, I hit Blake Snell last year at plus 3,500. For the NL, that was my prediction before the season.
Yeah, he had such a weird year, like the way he started off and then just
Yeah, it was
catch
dead.
fire.
Oh, dude, he was like a whole nother level. I think after the All-Star break, he was under a 1.0 ERA. You couldn't hit him. You could get walks off of him. He was pretty high in his walk percentage, but you could not hit the guy and you couldn't score on him. But what do you guys got? I'm curious.
Okay. So for the AL, the AL's a little tricky to me. I'm not both of them are a little tricky to me. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like Luis Castillo here. I think the Mariners got a great rotation to back it up, and when he got traded, he was decent, and I don't think he was fully comfortable. And I think this year is gonna be crazy for him. Especially, I think the Mariners got a good team too. I mean, we didn't talk about the Mariners much.
Yeah, they do. They really do. Julio Rodriguez is a guy we didn't even talk about MVP. He could easily get it as well.
Yeah.
he was
And
They also
obviously
got
with
he
Cole
was
they
being
also
second.
got Kirby,
injured.
George Kirby, the other right-hander they have.
Hmm. And
He
Gilbert
keeps
too. Logan Gilbert's good. They got a great rotation.
and
I'm
then
gonna go. I'm gonna go Pablo Lopez. What a hell of a year last year he had. But the only thing was that the Twins suck so much that he feel like he didn't get much recognition. But like I'm pretty sure his like average was. I mean his ERA was pretty solid. Um, I think he's an overall solid and stud pitcher. I had him on fantasy, so I was watching him a lot. I think 1,300 is good value in him. The guy could be. I think he's a young pitcher, but he had a good ERA last year. And again, though, like we were talking about before, how I don't know how the hell the Twins are in the top whatever it was, like 10 or 15 to win it all
Yeah, they
this
were
year.
plus 1,900.
Yeah, I mean, like again, like since they got an easy kind of ride or regular season, if the Twins manage or figure it out offensively, I think Pablo Lopez could be looked at one of the better pitchers. So I could totally see 1,300 being some good value right now. I'm not even going to talk about Garrett Cole just because he's going to be out for 2 months. Hopefully, it's 2 months. So, I mean,
Yeah.
he was definitely my take, but due to the fact that he was getting in, we heard that he was having some injury and some soreness. I stayed away from it. So,
Even if
I'm
he
going
was
to go.
healthy, I wouldn't have taken him though. I think voter fatigue is just such a big thing. Like I think if it's two guys that are close and the other guy won it last year, they're gonna give it to the other guy.
Yeah. I mean, I also like Evaldi too, like plus 4,000 odds, especially with the Rangers depth. I mean, like, it's another really good take as well, just because, like, I think how the team does offensively impacts also the pitcher just based off of like his actual record as a pitcher. And then in addition to that, just like
They're,
just like winning games and stuff. So I'm gonna go those
and
two. I
they're
like
they're giving Ragans and Scoble a lot of respect for guys who haven't done it a lot. Like both of those guys are getting crazy respect. Plus 900. I mean, that's one of the reasons I'm big on the Tigers, but plus 900 for a guy that hasn't done it for long. And Cole Ragans really just came on in the second half of last year. Outside of that, we've never seen him do it. So both guys have not played a ton of baseball at like an elite level. So I think that's a lot of respect because obviously Scoble, he only pitched 15 games last year and had a 2.8, but to be plus 900 for both of them, that they're giving them respect. So I guess those are guys to watch out for because Vegas always knows. But AJ, you said Castillo. Who did you have in the NL?
So I got low-key 2 picks. I got like one who I really think could win it, and then one like dark horse if he's healthy. So I got Tyler Glasnow, and he's got like plus 1,400 odds. Glasnow's a proven pitcher, and Glasnow on the Rays was, I think, didn't Glasnow win in Cy Young on the Rays?
Snell did. I don't believe Glasnow did, but I know he flirted with it at times. But he's always been a guy that like on the Rays, he was elite at times, but he dealt with some injuries. I can fact check that while you're going on though.
Yeah, so I like, and he's plus 1,400, which I kind of like. And like, I brought this guy up before, but Chris Sale, if that man is healthy, that is a problem for everyone facing him. And he had, I think he was a little bit below a 3 ERA in spring training, and he had like 23 strikeouts and 4 outings. So that's pretty crazy. So I think if he's healthy, I plus 4,000 odds, I think, for him. So a little $5-10 on it.
Damn, this motherfucker's 6'8". I did not know he was that
Glasnow,
freaking.
yeah, Glasnow's a tall dude.
Holy
That is
shit!
that is crazy.
I did not know he was fucking that tall. I mean, holy shit, bro, that's awesome.
Yeah, and like especially if Yamamoto doesn't play as well.
Yeah, he's getting a
definitely.
lot of respect from Vegas.
I also like the Hunter Green pick, but I'll stick with my two.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's sneaky. And then I'll go my AL pick. So I'll give you two. I'll go my dark horse is Tristan McKenzie. Obviously he's got to stay healthy, but he's a guy that can throw some disgusting stuff at times. Uh Obviously Shane Bieber is not at all what he used to be. He had a bad year last year, but McKenzie's showing flashes. Like last year he dealt with injuries. He only played 4 games, but the year prior he had a 2.96 ERA, pitched 30 games. 190 strikeouts. So he's a guy that we've seen have successful seasons. So long shot, but he's a guy that does nasty stuff. He's also built like a stick, 6'5", 165. So he is all limbs when he's throwing the ball. And then for someone that's a little more, oh, wow. Breaking news. Diamondbacks staff gets even more loaded. Jordan Montgomery signs with the Diamondbacks.
Oh
No
wow!
way.
I saw
Yeah.
rumors with him in the Mets too, or him in the Mets and the Yankees.
Oh
No
shit, Dave,
way.
go back to the odds, see if the Diamondbacks have changed mid pod. I'm curious if you can even do it right now, if that knocked it off.
Good signing for them.
I wonder if their odds just like that changed. No, not yet. That's interesting. I wonder if it'll change by the end of the pod. Dave, lock it in.
No, I'm
Benji,
not putting him. I only got $50
Keep
in
an
my
eye on
account
that.
too. So
50. Bro, lock it in. You could cash out
wow,
after and make a
wow.
couple bucks.
Montgomery the D-back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be their number 4 pitcher. They're loaded. That makes that pick look even better.
Yeah.
But going back to my chalky guy to win, if you could just go back to the odds, because I forget what odds he was when I was just looking before. Nope, keep going down
Who?
because it's AL. Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, hold on. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Valdez just because you know what he is the Astros' best pitcher. Um, I hate to say it, but they're probably the best team in the AL till
Yeah, they
well,
have a couple.
obviously.
They have a couple guys on here. It's insane. I mean, Hunter Brown is not that great, but
Yeah, I don't get that at all. Hunter Brown's dog shit. I really don't get that. They must really be expecting him to have a good year, but Hunter Brown is not it at all, in my opinion. But just with the amount of run support they get, I like it. He's a high strikeout guy. He hasn't done it before, so I think he's a guy. And with Cole being out, I mean that really opens up a lot for these guys. It's a lot of unproven guys up there. If you really look at it, like outside of Corbin Burns, it's a lot of unproven guys. Like we've seen Gosman obviously do it before. back when he was with the Giants, and then he struggled year one with the Blue Jays, and then was good in year two. But if Valdez can get that ERA down, I mean, he had over 200 strikeouts last year, so if he can get the ERA sub 3 and go for over 200 strikeouts and have a good record, I think he could definitely do it.
Yeah. Should we transition to teams, or now are we just sticking with awards right
I
now?
gotta I'll hit on mine super quick. I was gonna shout out from the National Max Fried. I know Reagan big on Strider, but the guy from his own team, Max Fried. Um, he was not healthy the full season last year, but he was a sub 3 ERA the past 2 seasons, and he's going into a contract year, which I usually like to see from players. Um, they're gonna have an awesome team. He's gonna have a good record, and yeah, I'd keep an eye out for him.
Yeah, they give crazy run support over there. Nobody gets run support like the Braves, honestly, and the Dodgers. Those two teams give crazy run support to their pitchers.
Yeah, they're all gonna have plus 10 wins. It's gonna be crazy.
Mhm.
And then
Who's your
AL,
AL guy?
I'm big on Corbin Burns this year, so I'm gonna stick with him.
Yeah, I mean, he's the guy. They don't really have anyone else there. He is the guy. And obviously he's a huge strikeout guy. So, all right. Sounds good. I don't know if we need to do the rookie of the years, honestly. I because those are such toss-ups. You don't know when the guy's gonna get called up and stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking at rookie of the year
Right.
right now. We got Skeens here.
Yeah, and we don't even know when he'll get pulled. We have no idea when he'll get pulled up. Like the odds are
Yeah,
like that because if he does get pulled up early, like obviously he was the number one overall pick, but there's also a chance they don't pull him up till like they're out of contention at the end of the year, and it's like this guy's only pitched 8 games. He's not going to get it. So I feel like those are just too hard to predict.
Yeah.
But let's go through our sleeper team. So my sleeper team is the Tigers. I think that division is wide open. We've kind of gone through the Central and how weak it really is. Like the Guardians obviously have been the team that have and Twins for the past couple of years, but I think the Tigers are on the come up. Riley Green obviously was my sleeper pick to win the MVP, and obviously Scoble, or probably butchering his name, but he's one of the Cy Young favorites. So if he can have a big year and they can do a lot behind him, that would be huge. Obviously, it hurts that they lost. Unfortunately, they lost Eduardo Rodriguez, who had a great year. But you know what? And maybe fucking Javi Baez figures it the fuck out. Maybe he backs up that contract. That would be nice. They got the
Yes.
ex-Yankee and Gio Urshela as well. So gotta love that. But yeah, I'm really hoping the pitching staff is going to be the driving force behind it. And I'm hoping they got two veterans. If one of them pans out between Jack Flaherty, a guy we've seen have success, as well as Kenta Maeda, another guy we've seen have success in this league. So if one of those guys can pan out and go back to some form of success that what we've seen from them before, I think that could be huge. And if both, then watch out for the frickin' Tigers, because both of those guys have had seasons of sub 3 ERAs.
Yeah, I honestly wasn't even looking into the Cubs as much, but like, my God, what does even that division have? I mean, Reds, no. Pirates, no. Brewers, no. I mean, what do they have? Two good pitchers. It's about it. Yelich, washed. Cardinals, mediocre. Nothing great. Seriously, a lot of older guys in that team. So I feel like Cubs have the most depth here, and I would say, especially for that division, like plus 185, I think it is. I think I'm seeing plus 185. Yeah, for them to win the Central. I mean, I like the Cubs. They're sleepy. I'd probably go with them. Also, I mean, the Braves are a powerhouse, but I could also see the Phillies if they can make the run, stay healthy. Harper has a year. Um, Everyone applauses Turner when he goes up at bat this year instead of booing him. I think that he could do some damage as well. I can't see too many other teams in that division. Sorry, AJ, the Mets are just not doing it unless Lindor has like 50 home runs with 50 stolen bags this year. That's about it. I think the Phillies are another sleeper here. So that's what I got, especially for the NL. For the AL, the Yankees are winning the AL this year. The Astros are gonna fall apart. Valdez is gonna suck. Um, Jordan is gonna like hit like what 30 bombs, and then they're gonna fall off in the playoffs. They're gonna come to the Bronx. We're gonna shit on them. That's what's just gonna happen. So
Wait, I'm not. Did you mishear what I'm saying? I'm not saying the Tigers are going to win the fucking AL. I'm just saying. I'm just saying my sleep like a team that I think will like way exceed expectations.
Oh, you think the Tigers are gonna exceed expectations?
Yeah. Oh no way. I'm taking to win the AL. I'm just saying like I think there's a chance they could win the Central and then make the playoffs. I'm not saying they like. There's no chance they win the World Series or even
Oh,
make it to
yeah.
the World Series. I was going to say I'm like, bro, the Phillies and Yankees are not sleeper teams. Like teams
No.
that like haven't been good or like fringe that you think could take that next step is what I'm saying.
Oh, I was
Got a
just kidding.
team.
You got a
Yeah.
It's
team?
not. It's not that much of a sleeper, but they're at third, um, best odds to win the division. The Seattle Mariners. I mean, they
Yeah, that's
were
fine.
about like one game out of the playoffs last year. You obviously got Julio Rodriguez like becoming like a superstar in the league. Um, I mean, I like most of their pitchers like Kirby, Gilbert, um, Castillo. I think that's how you say it.
Castillo, yeah.
Castillo, stud.
I think like the fact that they were that close last year and their best players only going to get better. I think they could be a team that could go over the hump this year and like make maybe like a little sleeper playoff run. But we'll see.
What about you, AJ and Dave? Who's your sleepers?
Uh, I mean, I want to say the Mets so bad, but I won't do that. Low key, this is not really a sleeper, but I think they're just so slept on because of how they haven't had the best playoff like success. But I think the Padres could do something. They still got a team around them, and they just got Cease too. And they're projected probably to be what, fourth in division right
Yeah,
now.
they're fourth. They're fourth.
Yeah, so Padres could definitely surprise some people.
Like that.
And
Yeah,
look what they
that's
did to the Dodgers. Look what they did to the Dodgers. So, and then for AL's a little tougher because like the divisions are just so lopsided. But I kind of like the Rays here, just because of how stacked the AL East is, and I feel like they're being called the fourth man of the division. And I feel like every time that happens, and just every time we call off the Rays, I feel like they just always somehow win, and they always get to 90 wins. It always happens. So I can always see them making a little wild card appearance.
yeah, with the Rays, I actually sprinkled $10 on them to be the last team to lose the regular season game just because like they always seem to get off to these hot starts and continue throughout the season. It's like they're not really doing it with anyone. They're not paying anybody, but they're always there hanging around. Like they're sneaky because every year everyone's like, yeah, the Rays aren't going to do shit, and then come playoff time, they're right there, whether they're fighting for the wild card or they're in the playoffs because they won the division. So I definitely like that. Yeah. Now let's get into some teams that we think could miss the playoffs or that you're super down on. I'm gonna give you one, and I'm so down on this team, and I think there's great value in it. I think the Angels are gonna be the worst team in baseball. Bad. Like I think, and there's great value in it. I got them. I threw a little bit on it. I threw them at plus 3,000 to have the least amount of wins in baseball, and I think it's very
Wow.
possible. I think it's super
That's
possible.
that's a steal.
I think it's
Yeah,
Oh,
great value. I
is
think
the
everyone
what
should
are
hop on that.
the A's to have the least amount of wins?
Yeah, the A's are plus 155. The Rockies are plus 210. White Sox plus 350. Nationals plus 475. And the Angels are plus 6,000.
at
All
least
those
the
teams
A's
suck.
up.
They all
Plus,
suck. But like outside of Mike Trout, who the hell do the Angels have at this point? And
damn,
Mike
plus
Trout, like, he's so damn injury prone. Like, I think there's a point where they might trade him at the freaking deadline. Like, what? Like, well, honestly, he's just appreciating in value. Like, at least get something and try to build up your team. Their rotation's ass. They don't have a ton of guys anymore. They lost Otani, who was clutch on both sides. Rendon, that contract's disgustingly bad. Like Neto's obviously decent, and their catcher no hope's not bad. And their pitching wise, like dude, like Tyler Anderson showed some flashes on the Dodgers, got lit up last year after they gave him the contract. Pablo Sandoval, like he hasn't shown, or not Pablo, Patrick Sandoval, like had a 4.11 last year. Like they don't really have anybody in the bullpen that I love, so I think they're going to get rocked a lot of games and give up a lot of runs. Like their
Sandoval's
best,
on the the Angels now.
Yeah.
He's skinny now too.
He's skinny now. Oh, I've seen one.
No,
AAA.
I'm sorry. Not Patrick Sandoval. I said Pablo. It's the pitcher I'm talking about.
Oh, I
Yeah,
was gonna
no,
give.
sorry.
He's skinny now. I don't know
That's
what
my
team he's.
bad.
I was gonna say I saw a AAA game of him, and he took one like 450, like down the left field line. It was pretty sick. I mean, and he was also like a panda at that time. So
Dude, they also had one pitcher outside of Otani that was below a 4 ERA, and that was at a 3.96, and it was only an 8 games started, and they didn't add anybody. They're gonna let up so many freaking runs, and they don't have any offense. I'm telling you, the value is there. Plus 3,000. Like you can't show me their team and the A's team, and outside of, if you take Mike Trout off that team, you can't tell me that the A's aren't close to that level of the Rockies. Like all these guys have a couple guys, but the Angels have terrible starting pitchers. Terrible. So this is strictly value, but definitely sprinkle on it. You'd be a fool not to.
yeah, I
At the
actually
cash
really like
register.
that. Plus 3,000.
The odds are crazy. Like, would you be that
Wow.
shocked if they were the worst team in the league? Like, I think they're going to be big sellers at the deadline. They got to
Do you know
start
what the-
rebuilding.
Do you know what the Rockies odds are?
Yeah, I think they were plus 210. The
Where
value
you
is
look?
not good.
Where are you looking at this? Because I'm trying to find this on DraftKings.
Season specials. It's like the last tab.
Oh, I see.
And yeah, they were plus 210. White Sox plus 350. Nationals plus 475.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I definitely see the Rockies getting the most losses.
Fewest wins.
Yeah,
I'm
just
gonna-
because how hard their division is.
I'm gonna share
But
this.
you could
screen.
say the same thing for the Angels, though. They're in a tough division. They still got to play the Astros, Mariners, Rangers.
True.
Like obviously
And
the A's suck, which and then obviously in the NL like West, there's only like one bad team versus two bad teams. But
I think if I were to
No.
throw my largest play on a future, it's going to be the Angels to have the fewest
do it right
wins
now. Do it right now. Throw that 50
yeah,
on
that's
it.
a good bet for plus 3,000. That's a crazy.
I want to
bet.
throw 100 on it though. I don't want to throw 50 on it. If I can,
All right.
dude, that would be so much fun to root for a team that I don't give a rat's ass for. Now that Otani's not on there, I mean, Mike Trout's going to get hurt, but no, I love that. I mean, knock on wood. I hope he doesn't, but like, obviously he's so injury prone. And then, I mean, to root for a team to lose and like, I'm gonna check the Yanks game. I'm gonna be watching the Yanks game and then like at night, I think they always play like 9 o'clock because they're West Coast. So I'm just gonna be like, oh, did the Angels lose today? Yes, let's go.
Yep.
That's sick.
Dude, exactly. You got to take it. Fade the Angels all year.
Okay, like right here off the bat, like the White Sox have
They still got some
going for them
guys, bro.
in the
They still got some
Central.
guys.
And this like not terrible, but like the Nats, I would probably see also like having the fewest amount of wins, and the Rockies, like, hey, listen, elevation's high there. They're gonna be hitting some bombs, So like, I don't know, man. And the Athletics could be sneaky. Like, they're always have like a weird period in the season where they win like a consecutive amount of games. That's the Athletics, and then I could totally see the Angels just losing fucking 100+ games. My gosh, I want to put 100 on it right now.
Do it. The value's there at the end of the day. Like it might not it's obviously like the odds aren't on our side, but comparing them to the other teams around them, like getting those odds when you look at the other rosters and you're like, the Angels are not that much better than these teams at all.
Yeah, so true.
So who are you guys fading? Who's the teams you guys are fading?
Like who I think is gonna be the worst, or
like you could say like it not the worst. Like I because the Angels have been a team that like they still have some guys. Like so I'm just like completely calling for a collapse. Like just Otani's gone. Like it doesn't. You don't have to be like the A's are gonna be bad. Like is there a team that like maybe people are higher on that you're like no I don't see this team being good this year and I think it's just gonna be a dumpster fire of a season. And like or because there's a lot of teams you can make cases for playoffs. So is there any like fringe playoff team that you're like yeah they're not making the playoffs. This is not going to go the way that like people are expecting.
Can I go a playoff team that I don't think is going to perform as well?
Yeah, I was going to say
that's fine too.
I was going to throw one out too. Yeah.
Yeah, the Yankees.
I knew you were going to say that.
I was going to say that too. Honestly,
they scare me. They got a bunch of dudes who they just signed. Stroman, you never know how he's going to be. He's the most inconsistent pitcher when it comes to being a good pitcher. Like I said, you guys have injuries right now. It's just gonna be a tough season.
I think the Yanks always have the most potential going into a regular season, and somehow they get shit on. And it's not offensively; it's just strictly our bullpen and our our starting pitchers. I
Well,
mean,
no, it is offensively at times. There's times where we're striking out way too much because we don't have enough guys that get on
Yeah, we're
base.
not getting on base.
We have too many like home run hitters, which is good. But when those guys are striking out, like when Judge and Soto, when they're gonna have the bad games where they're striking out, we're fucked because we live and die by the home run ball. So that's the thing with the Yankees, and then obviously injuries because there's zero chance in my books that Judge, Stanton, and probably Soto too, because just with the Yankees' luck, there's zero chance that any of those guys play over like 140 games this year. Stanton would be lucky to play half the games this year because that's just who he freaking is, unfortunately.
Stan's gonna be a wild for the Yankees.
I think Stan's gonna be. That's why I picked him up as a sleeper. I was a sleeper in our fantasy league. I mean, yeah, I just the same thing going low, like with Soto, like coming to the Yanks and expecting to have a much larger season. Everyone's seen that Stanton's gotten skinnier in the offseason, like has a much more potential this year, and he's a little bit older. But like, I could totally see him having, if not maybe batting like a 280 year, and him batting 280 is impressive compared to last year. So, I think he's a huge sleeper on that team. I mean. Again,
He
though,
gets
to like
280, that would be nuts.
mm-hmm.
I can't see him breaking
280. And how
250.
about him not swinging out of the zone? Like
I can't see him breaking
him
250.
him sitting on curveballs. How about just taking more pitches this year? I mean, that's like what I'd like to see out of him instead of just trying to swing for the fences every single time. Like have better plate discipline, and being able to like um just stay consistent at the plate. That's just all I got to do. That's all I want out of him. But going back to a team that I could see with the playoff caliber that they've had, I could totally see the Yankees just like falling apart somewhere in like maybe like the third of the season. So I unfortunately have to say that just because it happens like year over year. So,
dude, I'm sorry. I gotta hate on Stanton a little bit. I think he's not a starter by the end of the year. I totally think he becomes a rotational guy
do you
by
want
the
to
end of the
do?
season.
Do you want to do an around the felt inside bet right now that I think we could do maybe like an average that he has?
Yeah, because I don't want to do a games played because that just means I'm rooting on him to get injured, which is so fucked.
I
It would
think
have to be like
he
a batting average.
would.
Dude, it's gonna suck rooting against him, but I just think at this point, like he's cooked. I just don't think that. I think it's just all name value at this point.
Throw an average out there that you would pick. That would be our over under.
I'd fucking take 260 under.
I was gonna say 262, but I think 260 is high. How about 250?
I would do 255. 255. Meet in the middle.
I'll go 250. But I think we should have a clause for the amount of games that he plays because that's fair on both ways.
What'd you say, AJ?
I said maybe place a bet of how many games he's gonna play. Like take the over at 100.
I just hate it because then I'm like, oh, I hope this guy tears his ACL. Like that's so fucked. Yeah, we could set it at like he's got to play at least half the games.
Yeah,
at least half, and he's got to be batting over 250. That's a good bet. That's a good
he's got to play at least 81 games for the bet. Otherwise, it's voided, and we could come up with a punishment for that.
I was gonna say it shouldn't be money, like just because you don't want to root against him, so we could totally do a punishment.
Loser shaves their head.
I can't do that. This hair ain't growing back.
Come on.
Nah, this hair ain't growing back for that.
You don't trust your boy? Fake fan.
No, what we should do is just
lost weight.
Yeah. I think we should do a baseball punishment. Man, I don't know. I was gonna say like loser has to pay for something. I don't know. It wouldn't make sense because the season's gonna be over. So I mean, we'll think about it, and we'll have to come to judgment on the punishment. But I do like that. I think just Stan has a hell of a year. It's gonna be one of his last years. I would say he's got like maybe like two or 3 years left. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Like I was saying about the Yankees, so I think what the Yankees are going to be facing is they have to deal with 2 phases of Judge's career, and I think they're now exiting the phase 1 of his career because obviously all your surrounding guys are getting older. DJ, Stanton, and obviously your new phase is going to be the new guys like Spencer Jones and Dominguez. So I think this year, it's going to be like a make or break year, and I don't know if I know how New York gets, and I know how pressure gets. And I know how when the Yankees have the best expectations, they usually don't live up to them.
So yeah, you think basically that like the obviously Yankees acquiring Soto and signing Judge to the fat contract was the Yankees basically saying, "Hey, listen, like, we're gonna have to win a World Series, or these are the next like couple of years that we have to do it now before our rebuild, essentially, or just like trying to find younger prospects and start building out a new team from scratch." I mean, I completely see that. Like, you're so right about like DJ and like the Yankees are notorious for picking up guys who are on the last end of their contract and they're just like spot fillers. I mean, you can go down the goddamn list with the
Josh
Yanks.
Donaldson,
Josh
Matt Cullen.
Donaldson I was going right for him. I mean, back then it was like I don't even know if you guys remember. We had Kevin Euclid at one point, and like he
Yup.
was at his last year of his contract as well. Do you guys?
Ellsbury,
Yeah. What's the other guy's name? I forget it.
Joey Gallo.
Yeah. Well, Joey was.
Gallo was in his prime. He was in his prime still, technically.
So ass. So
Yeah.
ass.
I mean, you could even throw in Robinson Cano because he just sucked on the Mariners. So.
on the second time around, yeah.
Yeah.
You could throw Ichiro there, even though he was.
Yeah.
Ichiro, yeah.
He wasn't really old. I mean, he was like in his prime still, but he was old.
Yeah. There were so many guys. I mean, the list goes on. I think Craig
Rizzo?
Bird was his name. Yeah.
Rizzo.
Well, yeah. You could
Rizzo,
honestly.
Lance Lynn. The list
Matt
goes
Carpenter?
on and on. Matt
Matt
Carpenter.
Hey, Matt Carpenter's he's still in the league though, no? Or is he AAA?
He was on the Padres, I think,
Nah,
last year.
he's on a team right now. Actually, I think he's back on the Cardinals.
Oh hell yeah.
Probably still like a 1 year, yeah. Maybe something. But yeah, no, the Yankees are notorious for that. And if it is their year, it's gonna be in the next year or two. I signed the lease in Hoboken, technically New York. So they're gonna do it the year I move in. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna be at like God knows how many games, 40 maybe this year. And I'm gonna see Stanton go fucking 3 for 4 every single night. And I'm gonna call you a fake fan for the rest of the season, Reagan.
Maybe we got to do something like in the 999 aspect, but with like baseball, where like maybe we just got to go to a field and it's like you gotta hit like every time you get like you gotta get a hit. I don't know. We got to do something like that.
Do you want to do the 999 challenge? I like that. We should just do that.
But it's like a baseball thing. Like I don't know, something to go with baseball where it's like you got
No,
to
the
hit
999
like
the 999 was for or it was what Colin did. He did 9 innings, 9 beers, 9 hot dogs.
yeah, but I feel like we could do like something where it's like more in action, like maybe like we go to a baseball field and it's like it doesn't have to be as far, but it's like you got to get like
It's gonna be easy for me.
It's like
it's
No,
gonna
I
be
was
easy
actually-
for me.
I was thinking that Reagan, like say Dave loses, like each whatever, wherever we make the home run marker, like you get like 15 pitches or whatever, like however many is each home run you hit, like that's a hot dog or like a beer he has to slam, like right there. So it
yeah,
could be like the
yeah.
fun video out of it.
Oh yeah, like we have So it's like every time you got to hit a home run. Yeah. It's like you have to hit 5 home runs to be done with it, and every time you don't hit a home run, you have to do something.
Yeah, I like that idea. We can
We'll hash out the
brainstorm.
details, but it could be baseball themed. It'll be easier for you, so we might have to change tweak the numbers. So it's like you have to do more than I would because I played up to my freshman year of high school, not my senior year of college.
Yeah. Or we could do like, since it's gonna be probably like in October ish, maybe we could do like a live AB versus a Voorhees pitcher or something like that, and you have to get a single off of him in like 3 innings or something like that. Or we can think of something.
Let's get Drew Conover out here.
Yeah.
Get him ready. Get him ready for the big leagues.
Have this all playing in the field, and every time you get out, you have to like take a shot or something. So you're just getting like fucking more and more drunk, or you have to like eat a donut or something. So you're just getting fucking like. So by the time you actually get a solid hit, you're just like all full of donuts or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll hash out the details. But Garrett, who was your sleeper team before we wrap this up? Or I mean, the team you're fading. Or things.
I don't know. I don't really have one off the top of my head, to be honest.
That's fine. All right, guys. Well,
A random team I don't like though is the fucking Cleveland Guardians. I know
So you
they
think you're gonna
randomly
have an
get some
ass
hype
year?
here and there, but I've never been sold on them.
Fuck Josh Naylor and fuck the organization there. I hate that. I hate the
you don't
Guardians.
like Wario?
Yeah, you change your name. All right. Okay. I see
You
how
don't
it
like
is.
Wario?
No.
Not my
Naylor?
name.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Yeah.
that's awesome. All right, fellas. Well, I think that wraps it up. I mean, we kind of got into the awards, some teams we like. Obviously, we didn't get into like the crazy depths that we get with football, but I think it was a very good pod. Love that you guys came on, Garrett and AJ. Definitely come
Appreciate
back
you
on
Oh, yeah.
times. We'll talk some
Yeah.
football. Maybe we'll even get into some golf down the line, some UFC. We're gonna keep branching out and getting into more sports.
I want to rip a draft video
Yeah, we're
with
gonna
the
be doing
NFL
that
coming
soon,
up.
obviously.
Drafting would be crazy.
I'll
We're gonna wait
definitely
till
hop on
April
something
on
like that.
that because that'll be more trending at that point. We're gonna do a March Madness one tomorrow just to recap that. But yeah, that wraps it up. You guys got anything to say? Otherwise, I think we're good to go home.
Dave, JJ McCarthy, what are you thinking?
Buns.
You
I
buy
hated him.
you buying into that rumor at all?
Buns.
Nah, I'm not buying into it at all. I don't like JJ McCarthy to begin with, and I mean, I don't know. I just don't think the Giants should get a QB. I think we just give Jones a shot, and we also have himself.
Yeah,
So
no.
I think
Put
we're
that
chilling.
shit on Drew Lock.
Yeah.
Want JJ
I
McCarthy
love
to
Drew
go to the
Lock, bro. I'll
Giants.
root for him if he's starting.
Yeah, I've been a Drew Lock fan.
Now, as a Giants hater, I want JJ McCarthy to go to the Giants so freaking bad, and I want him to be good just so I can hear Dave like suck him off, and then for him to be bad right after Dave starts.
I'll
sucking
tell you
him
right
off.
now, if he's on our team, I still won't like him at all, and that's
Clip it.
The
Year
only-
from
You can
now when he
clip that.
wins Rookie of the
Get
Year,
Zach
and Dave's
Wilson
like,
back in New York, you know?
Super
Dude, it
Bowl,
makes me
baby!
happy watching the pro day throws and everyone in the comments
my.
just dropping Zach Wilson gifts like all over the video.
You win some, you lose some. All right, guys,
Yeah.
that wraps it up though for this episode of Around the Felt. We got a golf scramble that we're going to be talking about soon. Details to follow, so keep on the lookout on that. We still have a few sweatshirts left, so if anyone's interested, hit us up. They're really comfy, cozy, as a wise man once said. But yeah, that wraps it up. Thanks for joining us, fellas.